All right, let's read the first chapter of Mrs. Franchy's Evil Ring and the 6 months that changed everything. Y'all ready? Yes? Okay, let's do it. Okay, y'all ready? I'm excited for this. All right, chapter 1, capítulo número 1. Okay, listening ears. It should be illegal for patients to make kids be friendly and respectful to far removed family members they don't even know. Why do we have to ask por la bendición from someone we've never seen? Evelise should not put up with a whole FaceTime with strangers. Watching her, my hand immediately goes to the snake-like scar on my neck. And I think how that didn't turn out so well for me when I was 5. But Mommy's laptop churns as if it's cutting grass and choking on it. And the shadows evaporate. Her evil eyes disappear and I snap out of my daymare that almost swallowed me. I blink and watch Evelise turn into a robot. Her eyes dart from the phone back to me. Her neck and mouth are rusted. Her yeses are short and awkward, and her smile barely races her cheeks. I wish I could help. But I'm backed up with homework I don't know how to do, and my mouth never seems to work when I have to say something that raises eyebrows. For both, I need my best friend, who's too busy being an uncomfortable robot right now. Seriously, parents need to stop pushing on familiar families to their kids. I squeeze my suddenly cold fingers and open my mouth. Evelise's gaze catches mine. My throat swells. I get my lips to move. But just then, Mrs. Perez opens Evelise's door. Words buzz inside my head, all the words. But then it's like a traffic jam, a word traffic jam in my head. Cold air sweeps my tongue and I realize my mouth's still open. I sigh before I close it and watch Evelise and her mom disappear behind my breath fog. Nothing. I didn't say anything. It's like this magical spotlight turns on over my head whenever I have to say something, which makes everyone look at me. But that's not all. I've seen how when Evelise says something to grown-ups, they ask her a ton of questions afterwards. It's like they don't believe her, so she has to explain herself even more. No, I can't do it. Being a 4th grader is hard enough. I can't take the pressure. I clean my fog off and try really hard to not stare at Evelise. Her mom took her phone back and is wagging her finger at her. My stomach twists. Outside, tiny pellets of snow and icy rain smack my window. Tick, 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 they say. Cold air slides inside. The towel Mommy rolled up against my window does nothing. I shiver. Daddy Leon says the reason why cold air slithers inside is because the window is not sealed, and our landlord won't do anything about it, because landlords are not here to help, only to get money. He used to get mad about it, but now that Mommy is pregnant and she likes it cold, we all have other things to be mad about, like a whole pandemic, not being around my friends, and having to use Mommy's cranky computer to go to school. Evelise waves at me before she closes her door and I wave back. She probably has to do chores now. I bite my lip. She can't help me if she's doing chores. So I walk over to my bed. This is what Mommy doesn't understand about virtual school. From a computer, I can't look at Evelise's work, her face, how her hands move when she's explaining things to me. It's like I'm only seeing things through a peephole. And nothing makes sense. That's it. Virtual school is like a peephole. It's like I'm watching my best friend and my teacher, Mrs. Jenkins, through a peephole. I hate it. Mommy doesn't think so. She says all I need to do is ask Mrs. Jenkins. But I think Mommy forget how 4th grade is. I can't just ask questions. The more questions I ask, the worse 4th grade is. Especially with Melissa, who thinks she knows it all. You don't know how to read that word, she would say. Whenever she says the word that, it makes me feel so tiny. When she says things like that, all the other kids stare and some join in. But not Evelise. No. She always says something, even if that something makes things worse. Because then They will say the same mean things, only behind her back, so she won't tell Mrs. Jenkins. Plus, even though Elise is super smart, like reading since she's been 4 smart, sometimes her clapbacks are not the best. I don't think Melissa cares about bullying facts. I think she does it because it's fun for her, and I don't think Mrs. Jenkins needs the entire rundown on how everything went down. Because she tells mommy, who will then tell the entire world, which means that everyone is going to know my business. So this helpfulness is like a rolling snowball down Sullivan Hill. It will start out small, but then it will become a massive mess. And that's my life, a massive mess. Isla, you better be doing homework, mommy yells from somewhere in the living room. My eyes trail the closed laptop on my desk. Uh-oh, Devon says. Across from me is the crib Daddy Leon dropped off last night after work. Behind me, by the door, is Devon and all his Lego puzzles. When I look at him, he goes from regular old Devon to a mighty good pirate. He has a clear eye patch so I can still see his big dark brown eyes and long lashes. His hat has an apple instead of a skull, and he stands with his head and chest high on top of his purple ship, which is still not put together. The image fades away and I ask, wait a minute, you're not done with your puzzle? Devon says, shaking his head. The Devon I imagine in my head can make complete sentences, and everyone understands him. He's a lovable and popular pirate. But in real life, Devon goes to speech therapy, and it's a pirate part-time, whenever he finishes his pirate ship puzzle. The Devon in my head is the real one, though, and that's how I draw him. Sometimes he's impatient, so I draw him with tick marks around his head and pursed lips. Devon and Evelise take up a good chunk of the space in my Blake sketchbook. They make me so happy. But sometimes, shadows creep in my head with memories I'm not supposed to have, and I draw those too. My sketchbook is close to full now. I skip all the sad drawings and find the one of Devon I did with an H pencil. It was the first time I drew on point, and it turned out not bad. I show it to him. That's me, he says. I guess Devon sees himself the same way I see him, kind and mighty. I smile. But then, heavy steps stomp outside of the hallway, and my smile drops. I scramble to close my sketchbook and shove it underneath my pillow. Shoot, I mumble. Mommy says I have one job and one job only, to get good grades. But I wish my job would be to draw dope pictures. For sure I will be acing it all the time. My door swings open. Devon and I gasp. Isla? Mommy is a fire-breathing pregnant dragon standing in my doorway. In front of me, she grows green scales and spikes down her back. Her nostrils flare and the heat from the fire almost reaches my bed. I pull the strings on my hoodie until it squeezes my cheeks. Devon says. I agree with Devon. This is an situation. Mommy's green, fury-filled eyes scan the room until she spots it. My sketchbook. Sticking out from underneath my pillow. Pero es verdad. I say. I hope y'all enjoyed it. So this is the first chapter of my book, Mrs. Franchy's Evil Ring, and the 6 months that changed everything. Stick around for another chapter, another reading of another chapter, which I will gladly bring to the channel. And subscribe for more. Bye.